Welcome back to another episode of Monetize with Marcus. Now, in today's episode, I'm talking about something that it has to be said. Coffee and dinner or lunch is not a form of payment for coaching and consulting. I know so many people will hit you up and say, let me treat you to coffee and pick your brain. How about you pick a form of payment? So in today's episode, I'm going to talk to those who are doing it and teach you some better ways to build relationships. And for those who are the one on the other side of that, constantly being asked for coffee and food as a form of coaching of how to manage that. Be the type of person that you want people to be to you. Like most of the time, here's the funniest part. People want you to give them free information so they can use it to grow their business to charge people. Don't miss that. If you're watching this video, you're about to make a whole lot of money. All right, so we're back with another episode of Monetize with Marcus podcast. Now, here's the deal. If you've been in this online space for any amount of time, what I love about social media is it allows people to really make these strong connections. Like, think about it. There's people that I met at a conference for the first time, and we realized, like, well, we've been connected online for like 3, 4 years, 5 years, like it's been a minute. You feel like you're family with them. Now, here's the gift of that. The ability to be able to make connections worldwide. People resonate with your message. They are impacted by your content. They love what you do. They start learning your philosophies. That's a phenomenal thing. But here's the downside. People get so comfortable, like in the space, that they overstep and ignore the fact that you actually are running a business. And this happens to me all the time where here in Atlanta, in my building, I live in a building right there in the Shops of Buckhead Village. And I'll constantly run into someone that, oh man, I follow you on social media. And this 7 o'clock in the morning. And this conversation is not me complaining, so I want you all to hear it from both sides. Imagine 7 o'clock in the morning. You're having coffee. I'm sitting, meditating. I'm listening to a podcast. I got an app I use called Think Up where I listen to my affirmations. So imagine you have that going on and somebody just sit down beside you at 7 in the morning and pull out their phone. Hey, so I follow you on social media. So like, look at my website and tell me what you think about my funnel. It's so intrusive. It's like the feeling of it is like, you're such a nice person. I'm so respectful, but I want people to realize what it is like. Please don't miss this. When people start treating you like an opportunity and not a person. Like that, if you are a person, it's okay to want help, to reach out, to build relationships, but I want you to see the whole online space like a relationship building tool. When you just reach out to a perfect stranger and you say, hey, help me with this, do this for me, you ask friends to do that. I think that what we're missing is these networking skills, or we forget the fact that it is a social networking platform, right? So how do you build rapport, build relationship? How do you make it to where it's mutually beneficial? To stop someone first thing in the morning and ask them about your business is self-seeking, self-serving versus, hey, Marcus, I follow you on social media. Let's connect and exchange numbers and be patient enough to build the relationship. But to rush to get an answer at 7 a.m. and just ignore a person's humanity, just imagine somebody knocking on your door or invading your space, asking you for something. So here's what I want to say. Coffee is not a form of payment. What is it? It's what people utilize, colleagues utilize, friends, those who are looking to partner to build relationship in a common space, right? That's a clinical definition. That was I like the way I described that. But what should you do instead? Let's just say you don't have the resources to invest in coaching at this moment or consulting, and you need the information of a person. Here's what I ask people first. Have you actually taken the time to consume that person's information? Every coaching consultant I know has tons of free information all over the internet. Like I know for myself, if you go to my Instagram, the link in my bio, I have a 30-minute training that breaks down how to market on social media and how to set up a sales funnel. I've got Sales Funnel Made Simple that teaches you the 4 steps to build a sales funnel. I got a 2-hour training that breaks down how to market online. I've got one that teaches you about courses. I've got a training that teaches you this no followers, no problem. Like it's so many free things, plus the podcast, plus my content on my actual social media. What our strategy is to take what we would sell and give it away in incremental pieces. So what I always ask people is, are you familiar with what it is that I do? And when they say no, I realize you're asking me to coach you or solve a problem when you have not even You haven't taken advantage of the investment I made to give you free information. So imagine how disrespectful that is, right? I take the time, like this podcast is free. You don't pay anything to receive it. So imagine you don't take the time to take advantage of the free information, but you want me to then stop and provide resources that I charge people for in coaching. That's what you should do first. Before you ask for coffee into that, come with a specific question. Most people don't mind a specific question related to what it is that they teach. So let's use an example. If you said, hey, Marcus, I was checking out when you were saying about sales funnels and how the top 2 funnels that a person should have for high ticket is a application funnel. And if they got a digital product funnel like a VSL, things of that nature. So here's my question about a VSL. I'd answer that because you're asking me a specific question based on something I've already provided that I can make clear. That's easier than you asking me. And it's not a matter of me wanting to charge people for the questions, right? If you say, oh, I need help with my coaching. I don't think people realize that the question that they have is not as easy as they think. So if somebody says, should I do this or do that? I then have to lend myself to understand your business, much like you went to a doctor's office. You say, hey, I'm in pain. I've got to figure out where the pain is and how it's showing up and what is the root cause of it. In business, if you say, hey, I'm not getting enough sales, I've got to then assess so many aspects of your business, lend myself to it, think through the thought process of, if you say, I'm not getting sales, what are you doing? Promoting on social media. What type of content are you putting out? I'm putting out value content like you said. Okay. What is your core messaging? All right. How are you marketing it? Are you selling? It's so many layers to it that at that point, I'm literally doing like a diagnostic check of your business that is extreme work, extreme thought, extreme problem solving. It takes a whole nother analytical thought process. It's beyond just a clear cut answer, because everything in business is not just do this or do that, get this result. There's all this nuance. Here's what I mean. For one person, if they say, hey, what type of funnel should I do if I'm trying to launch my course? Well, it's different factors. I've got a client who's got over 1 million people on his email list. So on his first page, we're not driving to build an opt-in like we would in a typical person's list. Why? He's got a warm audience that trusts him. He's got over 1 million people that's present. He's not looking to list build. So see how the answer to him is not the answer for that person. I would have to isolate that person's specific business. So when you say, let me treat you to coffee, it also is an insult into the level of investment a person made in themselves. Like right now, I'm in a mastermind that I paid my coach, my guy, I won't say his name because I don't know if he want people to know the price. $36,000 is what it costs to be in this mastermind. So imagine I invested $36,000 in me. I'm not paying. Here's how I see investment. I'm not paying the person. I'm making an investment in myself. And because I believe in me, I'll spend the money. Now, if I believe that the person has something to give me, take the money. The money's insignificant to the value of myself, right? So like most people really invest in what they put on them. So let's use, please don't hear this wrong. Let's use like a sweatshirt. A Dior sweatshirt could cost you a few $100s. So if I can pay a few $100s for a piece of clothing that I don't wear every day, like this is a all white sweatshirt, you can't wear it very often. Imagine me being hesitant if someone say, hey, it's $500 to sit at dinner with me for me to teach you how to start blank and hire blank and scale your business. I would gladly pay them that, but we've been taught to invest more on what we put on us than what we put in us. So that's why we don't spend a lot on healthier foods. That's why we don't spend a lot on reading, on books, on information, on courses. We think that the person who teaches us how to invest in ourselves should do it for free, but we will then go and spend on us. And here's what's crazy, right? I know this is like this. I'm just venting right now. I'm going to do that in the next podcast, talk about the environment of pricing. That's going to be so powerful. But here's what I will say to you. You don't realize, like throughout the years, I'm constantly reading. Anyone who knows it, like knows how much I read, knows how important it is to me. I lead a faith community. And now, I'm married now. I just recently got married. So here's the thing, the irony of this. When a person asks me to meet them for coffee, to leave my home, to get in my car, to get in traffic, to come to meet them for coffee, they're ignoring the fact that in my home, my videographer's in here, I got a coffee bar. Like I love coffee so much, I set up an entire area of my house that's set up like a coffee shop. Coupled with that, I have Starbucks coffee in my building. like fresh Starbucks coffee in my building. So to leave my wife, to leave my home, to meet you for something that I can get for free, for you to then say, I'll treat you to whatever kind of coffee you have. Well, I don't drink lattes. My coffee's $2. I drink black coffee with light steamed coconut milk. Now, my coaching and consulting, the years of my experience is worth more. So what people don't realize is that is an insult. Hey, let me get you to teach me what you know for $2. Now, the lunch or dinner side of it is even worse because it's like, yo. And I've had people ask me, and I do favors, and I meet them, give them information. I'm talking, I met with a guy for like 2 hours, and he was like, man, get whatever you want. And then he sat there when the check came, and I got tired of waiting. Like, the server was like, y'all ready yet? I'm like, all right. And I pull out my card. He was like, oh, thanks, man. I'm like, so I just paid to coach you for 2 hours? like, yo. He was like, yeah, I got you next time. Ain't no next time, bro. There is no next time. like, this was it. This was it. And it wasn't about the money. It's just the idea of, I spent 2 hours with you and I know what an hour of my time is worth. So here's what I would say to any person. Think about it from both perspectives. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. So would you want someone, like most of the time, here's the funniest part. People want you to give them free information so they can use it to grow their business to charge people. Don't miss that. Give me the information for free so I can use it to charge other people. Now, if that person says, hey, let me meet you for coffee, to then take the information you just learned from me to grow your business, you'd be offended. So I would say to you, be the type of person that you want people to be to you. Do you want someone that is not in relationship with you, not networking, not connected with you, to skip over relationship and utilize this false sense of I want to build with you to get free information? Ladies and gentlemen, if the answer is no, I would say to you, this is one of those like clean up what you messed up podcasts and really start thinking about the value of relationship far exceeds that moment in time. Wouldn't you rather the ability to have Oprah on speed dial versus just stand up and ask her one question in an audience? So if you see value in someone to ask them to meet you for coffee, wouldn't you rather build a relationship to have them on speed dial than stand up and ask one question at coffee? And if you position yourself as a person that is a needy beggar, no one wants to hang around someone that wants to take from them versus give to them. And you never want to use the term, let me say this, I know which camera I'm at, either one. You never want to use the term pick your brain. It denotes you want to take from me, not that you want to contribute. Right? It's the worst thing. Let me pick your brain. Why don't you pick a form of payment? Pick your nose, not pick my brain. No, I'll just laugh. All right, so this has been another podcast episode. I hope you found value in this. Just to really understand the value of the relationship far exceeds that moment of asking one question. You'd be shocked what you can get from a relationship. We always say that your network is your net worth, but we don't realize that we're not building a network when we ask someone to give us something to build our net worth while we ignore building our network. I'll see you in the next episode.